Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Ultimate Spy 53 here, and today I'm doing review number 5, and I'm going to be reviewing the Hobbit Trilogy. Now, this is my favorite movie trilogy by far. Well, okay, probably not. I think Lord of the Rings is my favorite, which I'll be doing next week. But this was a good movie trilogy. My only setback was probably many people agree with me on this, and that's probably the whole reason this trilogy didn't do terrific at the box. I mean, it did okay, but it was it could have done better because I think the really just whole reason why is just taking in one book that's not even that thick and splitting it into 3 movies that wasn't necessary. The reason why is because the idea was just the whole reason was to make money and more movies. And the fact that it's just not it wasn't a smart move in my part. I mean, if I was adapting a book into a movie, I wouldn't take 3 movies out of it, especially if it's not even that long. I mean, it's like any of those franchises where where it's based out of a book, they take they do that kind of thing. It doesn't make sense. It really doesn't. I mean, when I would have made sense it would have made more sense as one movie. 2 movies, maybe I could possibly see that happening, but 3 movies is just stretching it. That's too much. I mean, overall, it did set up. It did a good job of setting up for the Lord of the Rings trilogy. Um, so yeah, okay. So for the first one, Unexpected Journey, um, this did a really good job. The only cons I have from this is the adding characters. That was unnecessary. It didn't need to happen. I felt that it just because some of the characters they added weren't even in the book. Like he didn't. I don't. He didn't even have Galadriel. Didn't have Saruman. You had Elrond. You had yeah. I almost said Elrond. You had Elrond. Although the fact that you bring an actor back from a previous trilogy and he looks the same, I mean, some actors in Hollywood don't even age. It's kind of magic. um, but it did really well. I mean, the translation was pretty good. I mean, truth to be told, when I first saw it in the theater, I mean, at least the trailer, my sister geeked out. She was just like so excited to see it. And when it finally came out, it was fantastic. Everything was great about it. The music was phenomenal. I mean, this is overall this in the Middle Earth, I guess universe. If that's the proper word to say. I'm not really sure. Universe is a really great word to say, but world lore. I don't know. Something. Um, it just the entirety of the Middle Earth, movies or anything, whatever you call it, saga. I can't remember. I don't even know. I don't know what the right word for it is. The point is, it was all fantastic. It's my favorite memorable. It's very memorable. So it brings back memories to the old days, and the casting was pretty good. I mean, they brought back the essential characters that were needed for the Hobbit. So yeah, I'm just gonna play a trailer here, like I do every week. Uh, so yeah. Okay, so for the first scene, I love this. I thought did really well. I love how you have Frodo, who looks the same, almost the same, if not. Well, the idea is to make him look younger than he already is, or slightly younger, or no, the same age as he is in the beginning of of Fellowship. Of course, you have an older actor, but support and stuff. So bring an older actor in, even though, well, I mean, they did pretty well because he looks the same. He does than he did in he does in the in Fellowship. Um, I love how it does set up for Fellowship because this literally takes place right after, or no, before he goes to West Farther Moon, which is the beginning of Fellowship. He's waiting for Gandalf and he's surprising him. That was awesome. I love how they brought like all these the sets were just great. They brought back the sets. That was fantastic. Um, Characters came back. Sets up for everything. Um, the music was phenomenal. The sets were it's the same set. You got Bilbo who looks he looks a little older than he should. Even though it's supposed to be a prequel because it's supposed to take place right this kind of like my dear it's called my dear Frodo scene um it was technically supposed to take place before or just before like the um or I think it's like somewhat before Fellowship of the Ring, or at least the beginning of it. The idea was, I mean, there was rumor. I think there was a rumor that they like CGI'd Ian Holmes' face, the guy who plays this guy who plays Bilbo, or at least old Bilbo, um, to make him look more like Martin Freeman. But I think they didn't do that because like. For example, with Star Wars, I think I talked about this for my Star Wars review. So, the fact that I think they were gonna CGI, they use CGI for something with Obi-Wan's, or at least the young Obi-Wan's face, but it didn't need to. But anyway, point is, this is not Star Wars here. I'm just geeking out here. I can go on and on about that. It was fantastic. I mean, I love how that Martin Freeman is an excellent actor. I've seen him in Sherlock. He's a great actor. He really is. He's done a lot. You know, he's a great actor. He really is, and he brought Bilbo to life in a way that was just phenomenal. Um, he just played Bilbo as we expect Bilbo to be in a 60 years younger age. Um, and I mean he played Bilbo in the character of like the clumsy person who feels like he that no one really he's not meant to be on this journey, and he feels like he's being let down. He's everyone's just like not caring about him, or I don't know, something else. I don't know what it is, but it really defies this character. I mean, it's not who he is, but and I love how I brought Gandalf back, and I when I first read the part where I think I had seen the movie, this first movie, after I read the section in the book, and I'm like, oh my gosh, that's the exact same lines that is in the movie, and they copied that perfectly. That translation was perfect. Um, I mean, I know that like last week I did this with Harry Potter where I was comparing the book to the movie, but this is another thing where they took they where some this is people who don't like Star Wars where it's like they don't it's not it wasn't made for the book. I mean, technically it was, but it wasn't like. I think the books came afterwards. Because Star Wars was a movie. Was a movie. It's always been a movie. Never been a book. But like with Hobbit, it was like things where you wouldn't have imagined it have been a book, and it was a book. Um, and I love how they brought back Ian McKellen. That was so great. I loved it because he has his Gandalf the Grey costume. That was great. I thought that was really really well done. Um, great acting. I love this humor. Everything they try to make the Hobbit movies humorous. Actually, this one even in the theatrical release, it was actually a deleted scene, and later put in the extended edition. I don't even know what the point of the extended edition is. If they're gonna delete all these scenes to then just put them back into the extended edition, it just doesn't make sense. It's like, what's the point? If you're just gonna delete all these scenes to then later put them back in the extended edition, if that's what they do, then it just makes sense. Actually, tell you the truth, I've seen so many YTPs on this scene particularly. It just gets me up. And I love this. I love how it's like I didn't have a part. I didn't like throw. I'm not throwing a party, and then suddenly the doors show up, and it's like Oh, and then like, they introduce themselves, but it's like, or I think it's like Dwalin who's like, do I know you? He's like, no. It's like, okay then, this is awkward. I don't know why there's all these dwarves in my house. And then a wizard comes and invites them all because apparently they were trying to recruit Bilbo to go on a quest because he needs to get out of the house and they got an opportunity. I love these. These are my favorite characters, favorite dwarfs at least. Feely, Keely, um, Balin, who is the one with white hair, and white beard, um, and then that's I think that's it. Him. Oh yeah. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Oh, Biffer was also Biffer's my favorite character too. So the favorite characters are Biffer, Kilo, Keely, so Kilo, almost a few Kilo. Keely, Feely, and Balin. Um, Bomber was not really a necessary character. I mean, he was in the book. I think he had lines, but they cut his line. I think they if you had, I can't remember. I can't really remember the book because it's such a long time. But I think if he had lines, they completely cut him out. Cut their lines out. It's like, what's the point of having a dwarf that doesn't say anything? Um, I mean, all the prosthetics were great. Um, this was the dwarf that I really kind of felt sorry for because he's always getting treated like he is not getting treated like a dwarf. I feel like the character of I think it was Ori or Nori, I can't remember. If you know, then leave in the comments or I'll just look it up myself. Either way, it's still the same thing. I feel like he doesn't really get all he gets the he's one dwarf that doesn't that everyone just kind of puts him down for it, you know. I thought Thorin was great. Was a great dwarf. He was great. I thought actually Keely and Feely weren't even dwarves. They just well they were, but they were like a little tall. um, and I do realize that the in the book they all have like different cloaks or whatever or different colored beard, which is a little weird. But that doesn't even try that in the book in the movie because they're trying to make it look better. This is my favorite scene or favorite song from the movie. Sorry, I'm hiccuping here. um, from the movie, it was just phenomenal. Favorite song ever. It was they did such a good job to well. I think they they had they I think the people who I think Jackson the Peter Jackson the guy who made the movie, um, or at least the trilogy. Yeah. Movie. I think they always like if it's a song they mix it up. I mean they have generally the same lyrics but it's always different. Let's see anything else. It was a great song. All these characters I love it. It's a fantasy so you got all these detail. The details are great, amazing. The prosthetics look so good. It just looks so awesome. This singing is so great. It brings more memories. It's like, well, next December. Well, it's already been 4 years, so well, not really, but 3.5 technically. I don't know. 3 3/4. Actually, this scene, I mean, most of it was in the movie, but there was an extra scene that was actually cut from the movie, and I think put in the extended edition. Because that's what they do. I love how this is a tribute to the sword that was broken in Lord of the Rings, which is great. I love that part. It was fantastic. Rivendell looks well the same. I think it looks a little different, but it's the same idea. I think there's some kind of love thing going on between Gandalf and Galadriel, who actually wasn't in the movie. Yeah, she was in the movie. Nor was Saruman, nor was. Yeah, I think that's better. I think just Saruman and Galadriel weren't on the movie, but Elrond was in the movie. Or sorry, the book. Talking about the book. Talking the characters that were not in the book, but were in the movie. Were Galadriel and Saruman. This is a pretty cool scene. This scene, these tree scenes were great too. You know, it really feels like you're kind of. I mean, it really feels like Lord of the Rings again, because this is the kind of thing that do. You know, just hang out and just smoke. And then the first appearance of Sting, this was special because you don't ever know where Sting came from. He, you know, Brable tells where it came from, but doesn't really say anything about it. That was a great. This definitely reminded me of Lord of the Rings in a way, because the whole, like, you know, going across the journeying just feels so amazing. That was great too. Just circling the door, it's like, yeah, what's up? It's like, you threatened us? No, we're not threatening you. We're giving you food. Really? Yeah. You eat up all the. Here's some vegetables for you. It's like, but we don't eat vegetables. It's like, okay, that's not a very nice thing to do. Clearly. This is a great shot of Cate Blanchett as Galadriel. She's gorgeous. Yeah. This feels homey. This thing right here, this thing feels homey. It does feel like I want to live in that place. They got this in pretty good, because especially since these trolls were in the Fellowship of the Ring as stone trolls, because Gandalf froze them up. I almost said G for some reason. I don't know why I did that. It's been a long day. That's what's funny. It's like all these dwarves just pow out. That was funny too. All these expressions are just great. And you get the ring. Actually, I think this actor from the second movie. I'm pretty sure. Yeah. You get the ring. You finally realize how Bilbo got the ring. Great logo, by the way. And they get Gollum, of course. I mean, the movie isn't complete without Gollum. Well, for at least for the first part, because you don't get Gollum until in the next one, but you get that. So yeah. Anyway, what can I say about this? I'd give this a. Actually, starting now, I'm gonna rate them. So I'd give this movie a 8 out of 10, because it was. I mean, it was good, but they just added too many characters. Desolation of Smog was great too, because you get Legolas, which is a little weird, but you also finally get the journey. You get everything. It's a very good movie. I thought it was great. They cut out some scenes were actually later in the deleted scenes and the extended edition. But overall, it was a great movie. I thought that they did a good job, and it was worth it. It was worth every cent I spent on. I got for it. It was a great movie. I mean, the elves were great. The dragon Smog was great, because he really felt like an alive character. And of course, when Bilbo went into the treasure room, or the vast treasure room of Erebor, it was so cool. So actually, I'm gonna play a trailer for you. Let's see, yeah, this is a little different trailer, but it's the same kind of thing. This was great, because you finally get the spiders, because that was in the book. That was a great scene. He's just this is the elf place. Not it kind of looks like Erebor, but it's actually the elf place. I can't remember what it's called, but it's the place. It's a place where it's kind of like where the chapter bears how the bound come from. Great, different costume, but what do you expect? I think this is a family tree. This is a great. This is a cool thing. I kind of like that. Oh, you get this actually was teased actually. This actually was teased at the end of Inside the Journey. You get the seats of Mog for the first time. And I love how he's voiced by Benedict Cumberbatch. That was perfect. Bard was a great character. I love Bard. He was fun. He was fun to he's just overall great character. Um, he was entertaining. Really, he was very clever. He was just overall a great character. Lake Town was great. I mean, I didn't really pay attention to it in the book. It was kind of the book is a little more difficult to read than just watching the movie. Um, but overall, great movie. I love how he has a family because both these daughters are just so adorable, cute. Just oh my gosh, I want to have them as sisters. Lake Town. Okay, I think actually that's Gandalf. Pretty sure it's Gandalf. Is that Gandalf? Pretty sure. Yeah, that's Gandalf. It's kind of sad how he's locked up. Wait, is that Sauron? Yeah, that's Sauron. Okay, what's? Yeah, this scene with the snow that was so great. Whoa! Didn't realize that he's so small. My gosh, no wonder they call him a dwarf. He's so small. I love how they finally reach Erebor. I mean, I think this is Daniel. I think this is Dale. Yeah, Dale. This is the lost city of Dale, and you get that. I mean, literally in the movie, Balin says the desolation of Smaug. That was so great because you finally get to see Erebor. Yeah, Erebor was spot on. It was. I mean, look at that. It's huge. Everything about it. I love this scene. I mean, Erebor itself was great. I mean, it was. The orcs were great. The acting was just stunning. You know, this is actually this guy was voiced by Manu Bennett, who's actually Slade in Arrow, and also he played Slade in Arrow, and he also plays I can't remember his name in China Chronicles, which is a fantasy show. I thought that Legolas, he didn't need to be in the movie. He really didn't. I mean, the idea was that he's supposed to look younger, I guess, because it said 60 years before. Not really. They didn't really do a good job of making him younger. He wasn't even. He didn't even need to be in the movie. I mean, I think the point of putting in the movie was to get a point out there where he's Legolas and he's like this is his adventures. You know, this is what he looks. This is him, 6 years younger. I still like Legolas. He's my favorite character. He's just awesome. But I didn't think they needed to put him in the movie. It really didn't need to happen. Also, Tariel was one of the worst mistakes ever. She was not a very. I just felt that she didn't need to be in the movie. She did not. It was not necessary. Like, I mean, I get it to have the extra characters, but if you take a book and you just start adding characters, it doesn't make fans happy. It really did not. Like, you don't get anything out of it. It's pointless. You got to think what the fans like. If you start taking characters, start putting characters in a movie that aren't in the book, then it just takes a lot away. I mean, she was fun, but didn't need to happen. I also thought that finally seeing Erebor for the first time was so amazing. Also, Thranduil, I think his name was, very powerful character. He really was. Just, this was fun too, like, powerful. The makeup and the prosthetics were just, you couldn't even tell that they were real. I mean, sorry, you couldn't tell they're fake. You could tell that they were real, like, professionally done. It sets up really well. It does. Because this is Bilbo when he's younger, and, this is his story, so it has the name Hobbit. That's the same kind of thing as destruction as you expect in the Middle Earth movie. Okay, they got this scene. Let me just go back here. this seemed pretty well done. They did a good job. This is from the book. The chapter was called "Barrels Out of Bond," and it was actually in the book. They uh they get and use barrels to escape from the Elven Kingdom or whatever it's called. Um, and also, one thing I should point out is I forgot to mention, Radagast was a great character too. This kind of brings me back because Radagast was a character that I don't think he was in the movie. No, sorry, the book. I think he was in the movie. I think he was just another added character. But he's played by the talented Sylvester McCoy, who plays the Seventh Doctor in Doctor Who, or did play him in the late 80s. The spiders were great too. Uh, it's just I think this is one of the places that you got Radagast, who is just phenomenal at his acting. This is a great scene too because it's so like thrilling. You don't know what's gonna happen, and it was just like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. Because Bilbo is just, like, terrified for his life, and he knows he has to rescue the dwarves. This is kind of a setup for Battle of the Five Armies, which is the final movie. This was great because it's powerful dialogue between Balin and Thor, and it was like his name. Not a burglar. His name is Bilbo Baggins. His name is Bilbo. That was great. It's like he's thinking that he's stealing that Thor is that Bilbo is taking the Arkan Stone of Thrain or whatever, which was so great. That was awesome because he's with greed. He finally gets to get his gold back when he's not greedy and everything, and not the king they thought he was. I mean, actually, the ring, because the ring from the scene that scene from, actually, I mean, this scene is actually from the trailer for Unexpected Journey, but it was. I like how that led up to the next one, and you thought that this was working from the ring, but it's not actually. This is from the second movie. I think the reason they had that is because it was setting up for the second movie. This romance, I'm glad this romance never happened because they didn't need to have romance in the movie at all. It really wasn't necessary, especially for a character that wasn't even in the book. Because you got Legolas and her, it didn't happen. Apparently, it was Keely and her. I love this armor, this fantasy armor. It looks so real. It looks, oh my gosh, it looks so ancient. Old, It feels like you're living in a world that is so old and just ancient. If I was in this position, I would be freaking terrified. I mean, seriously, if you're trying to find a special object out of millions of pieces of gold, it would be almost impossible. I mean, he did find it, but it would be impossible to do that. It really would. I mean, seriously. It's just, especially if you have a dragon that's talking to you or whatever, and he's right there. He's huge. This fire looks so real. The action looks so great. It looks amazing. The stunts look awesome. The dragon looks so real. I mean, especially since he's voiced by Benedict Cumberbatch, who plays Sherlock in Sherlock. Yeah, all these effects were great. You got this awesome logo, the Hobbit, the Desolation of Smaug. That was so awesome. Okay, so yeah, obviously Desolation was a great movie. It does set up for everything. That's how it sets up for the end of everything. I it didn't. I think this would have been the movie that would have ended it. I really think though, and I really think so. Sorry, I'm not able to talk today. I think that they just the characters. I mean, it was fun to have these characters, the unnecessary characters. It was fun to see them. It was enjoyable. They just didn't need him. They didn't. I thought the costumes were great, especially Bilbo's costume. That was a great costume. Um, I mean, I love this poster. I love how the fact that they have this kind of looks like smoke because you kind of see the, I don't know, something about it, and then like looks like he's trying to redeem himself. I don't know. Um, it does kind of feel like Fellowship of the Ring away just a bit. It was a great movie. It was a great movie. Although I don't know why they have the first one for December 14th, the second one. I mean the second one for December 13th. It's like, this makes sense. So yeah, overall, well, that's a tough one. I'd say I give it I don't know, a good 7 out of 10. 7 out of 10 because of adding even more, giving screen time, because in the Extended Journey they didn't really give the unnecessary characters screen time, and for the other unnecessary characters that they gave more screen time, it still didn't seem like that was a good idea. I mean, I love the favorite part of the movie was definitely the Smaug versus, or I guess I guess it was technically Smaug versus Bilbo, yes, but it was great. I mean, it really was. The acting was phenomenal, in my opinion. People probably might not agree with this, but it was great. So yeah, for the third one, Battle of the Five Armies. Um, yeah, so I didn't really, well, I thought it was okay, but it was a bit long, and it just kind of felt like it really was not much of a, I don't know. I mean, the title of the battle. I mean, the title itself is freaking long because you got the Hobbit, the Battle of the Five Armies. That's it's like it's here. That's the Hobbit, the Battle of the Five Armies. That's about 8 words. That's a lot. I mean, think about it on your ticket. I mean, the ticket I got was it said Hobbit Battle of Five, and that was it. That's all I could fit on the ticket. It was like, gosh. I mean, it's a good movie. No complaints there. I mean, they put a little, they put some humor here and there, and it didn't really feel like a Hobbit movie. I mean, it was, but it just, especially since it's a book, it's based on a book that's so short that didn't need to happen. I just felt that it was, I mean, the fact that it gave it December 17th release date, that was just a little weird, going from 14th to the 13th to the 17th. I just thought that it was too long, and they didn't really specify what the five armies were. I mean, I think the idea was like the elves is one army, the dwarves is another army, I guess. The orcs is another army. Yeah, I don't know. It didn't really just specify which ones were. So yeah, okay. So, where is? Crap. Okay. I'm gonna have to search this. Sorry. Okay, here we go. I'm just gonna show this to you because I do it every time. Okay, let's try this. I like how the Warner Brothers logo looks pretty cool. I mean, look at that. All like, wood texture and all that stuff. All this wood texture was was pretty interesting. I love this. This kind of, he felt like he had to do something about his destiny or something. She looks pretty hot. She was not necessary. I mean, the fact that she was in 2 movies was just like really unnecessary. I mean, the only thing I didn't really think that I think it just took forever for them to finally complete the Hobbit trilogy. I mean, it didn't need to be a trilogy. It really didn't need. I mean, it could have. It would have done. It would have done really real well as a just a one movie. It really would. I agree on my part on that. I agree with myself. I think that it would have done one movie, maybe two, if that. Maybe. I mean, that could have been a thing, maybe. But it was just too much when they added three. Um, it was a good movie. It was an okay movie. Um, it was pretty sad because you got Thorin dying. That was in the book. Actually, I read that. I'm like, oh my gosh, that actually happens. And then in the movies, it actually happens. And get Galadriel, and you got Saruman back. Um, and you get the idea of him looking like he's dying, but he's not actually. And actually, the scene where Thorin is being all mad about his treasure, that was like, God, he's corrupt. The treasure is corrupting him. It's like a curse. That's what I'm talking about there. And then I love how Thorin gives Bilbo the Mithril, which is actually set up in Fellowship, where Gandalf talks about how something happened with Thorin, and that's right from this and then this from here, he looks older. He does. I mean, the idea of him looking younger, not even close. He looks older. He does. I think this is an army. So the elves, I think a bard's crew, which is another army, the orcs, the dwarves, and whatever else they have. I can't really remember. I don't know who the armies are. I think this is a. I don't even know what that is. uh, oh yeah, that was. I thought that was funny. I mean, I thought that was like really, really well done. The fact that Bard is trying to negotiate with Thorin to share the treasure or something like that, and it's like, do you want this or do you want war? It's like, I want war because I'm not giving I'm not giving my treasure to you. I'm not sharing. This is great. He's like, oh fuck. He's like, I want war. Oh shit, this isn't good. What are they doing? What's the point? He looks so old. That actually kind of reminds me of um Helm's Deep battle in Lord of the Rings, which I'm looking forward to doing next week. Actually, that was awesome. You got all this action. Lots of references to Sauron, which actually is explained which is actually taken deeper into deleted scene where Gandalf actually meets Sauron or sees Sauron for the first time. Um, that was great. That was all the dwarves, all of them. This was perfect. This is a great like still of the dwarves. Like his like thing is crushed. That's just awesome. I like how this romance never happens because they kind of think the romance is gonna happen, but it never does. So then it ends up going for Killy, which is I mean, I thought it was okay, but it just like so unweird, just so weird. I almost said unweird right there. Sorry. Um, this is a great shot from Bilbo. Um, a little bit of a too long of a long name. It really kind of was. So yeah, that's the trailer. So overall, not a bad movie. I mean, it felt like they added too much, um, and it really would have done well with one movie. I think so. In fact, they have 6 now because you got Lord of the Rings. I mean, they did do a lot of setting up for Fellowship because they have the end. You have at the very end. You have. I think it's, your. I can't even remember Legolas's dad's name. The king of the elves speaks to Legolas about a man named Strider who happens to be Aragorn, and I kind of like how that's a. It was just, it was. I kind of saw an honest trailer on that, and it was actually pretty funny, but I mean, it was a cool nod to the next movie, obviously, because it's a kind of a, I mean, not really, it doesn't really bridge the gap, but it definitely like sets it up, because like the entire movie, I mean, first at least Unexpected Journey kind of nailed everything. Then I got it here so I can go to the back yeah. Oh right, so forgot to do something here. So just real quick, how would I rate the Battle of the Five Armies? Because of all this, just the. I mean, one thing that really made the movie not as good as the other two were the CGI effects that they were added in, like Legolas jumping on the rocks in that one scene. That's just a little unnecessary, and some of the unnecessary crap on the movie. So I think that because of that, I'm gonna give this a 4 out of 10 because of that. Just because it was not a great movie. But yeah, I thought these movies were great. They really set up for the Lord of the Rings trilogy, considering it was directed by the same guy. Although why the release dates are like December 14th, 13th, 17th is just beyond my belief. I don't know what that is for. But yeah, I mean, they were good movies. I enjoyed them while they lasted. Not as good as Lord of the Rings, definitely, but they definitely set up for Lord of the Rings, and they brought some of the actors back that were key characters in Hobbit. But yeah, I mean, they were fun while it lasted, and it was sad to end the trilogy, but it was worth it, I think. Especially at the end of Battle of Five Armies when you get Billy Boyd singing "Last Goodbye," which was great, considering he played Pippin in the Lord of the Rings trilogy. So I mean, honestly, Martin Freeman did a good job. But I mean, I loved how the end of it was spot on because I read the end of the book, and he explained how he came back and everyone thought he was dead and he was on a long journey, and his house basically got his house basically got sold along with all this crap, and so we had to buy it back with the gold he got from Thorin, or share, at least the share. That was fun. So yeah, Hobbit Trilogy, not bad. Not as bad, not as good as like I said before, Lord of the Rings trilogy, but yeah, they didn't do bad, but also didn't do good. So kind of like the pros and cons of the pros. The pros was good acting. It was great music. The music was phenomenal. Really, especially the revamps of things from Lord of the Rings trilogy. And when they brought back Gollum, that was great because he's in Unexpected Journey. So yeah, yeah, I enjoyed it while it lasted. Especially the costumes. All the costumes were great. So yeah, Smog was terrific too. So yeah, this will do it for this week's episode of Reviewed, and I will see you next week for another episode of Reviewed with Lord of the Rings trilogy. Considering this is a prequel to Lord of the Rings. So yeah, hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you next time. And yeah, all right. Thank you for watching. Bye.